of the benefits from Surah Al-Maryam, which is of course a surah from Allah's tremendous Quran, His speech, and specifically some benefits related to the story of Nabiullah, the Prophet Isa alayhi salam. So, just reading through some of those ayat, some of those verses which Allah mentioned from that glorious story that happened in the past. So, Allah began this part of the surah mentioning about Maryam alayhi salam, and He said that, which means, remember in the book when Maryam left away from her family to a place in the direction of the east, and she concealed herself. She concealed herself away from them. So we sent to her, فَأَرْسَلْنَا إِلَيْهَا رُوحَنَا فَتَمَثَّلَ لَهَا بَشَرًا سَوِيًّا. So we sent to her our ruh, meaning Jibril alayhi salam. We sent to her Jibril, and he appeared for her as a man. Appeared for her as a man. And this is from the way that Allah has created the angels, is that they appear in different forms. So Jibril alayhi salam, who is the Malik, or the angel of Allah, who is in charge of the wahi, bringing the revelation, we know that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw him in his true form, and he had 600 wings, and his width covered the distance from the east to the west when the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw him. So in this situation, Allah sent Jibril to Maryam in the form of a man. And she said, قالت إني أعوذ بالرحمن منك إن كنت تقيا. She said, indeed, I seek refuge in Ar-Rahman, in the most merciful from you, if you are a person of taqwa. So she wanted to protect herself from this stranger that she hadn't met before. So Jibril said to her, إنما أنا رسول ربك لأهب لك غلاما زكيا. So he said, indeed, I am a messenger from your Lord, bringing as a gift for you a pure, righteous boy. قالت أنا يكون لي غلام ولم يمسسني بشر ولم أك بغيا. She said, how can I possibly have a son? How can I have a boy? And I have not been touched by any man, and I am not a prostitute. So Jibril said, كذلك قال ربك هو علي هين لنجعله آية للناس ورحمة منا وكان أمرا مقضيا. So Jibril said to her, that is what your Lord said, that it is easy for him, meaning easy for him to create for her a son, even though she'd never been touched by any man. And that Allah would make him as a sign for mankind and a mercy from Allah. And this is an affair which has been decreed. So, from the benefits of this verse, that Isa alayhi salam is a sign for the people, linnas. He's a sign for all of the people in the miraculousness of his birth and his life, and when he will return, alayhi salam. وَكَانَ أَمْرًا مَقْضِيًا. And this is something which has been decreed already. This is in the decree, this is in the qadr of Allah, that Isa would be a sign and a mercy for mankind. And this is something which we see that Allah sends the prophets and messengers as a mercy. As Allah said about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ, and that we have only sent you as a mercy for all of the creation. So the purpose of sending the messengers was not for difficulty, not to put hardships on the people or to make their lives complicated in any way, but rather as a mercy for the creation. فحملته فأنبذت به مكانا قصيا. So she became pregnant with the baby. فأجاءها المخاض إلى جذع النخلة قالت يا ليتني مت قبل هذا وكنت نسيا منسيا. So the labor pains made her go over and lean against a date palm tree. And she said, oh, if only I had died before this and was something that was forgotten. So even though she had this miraculous pregnancy and the miraculous birth thereafter, she had these labor pains. And this is something that reminds us that there are certain things which are from Sunanillah al-Kawniyah, that there's things that Allah has created in the creation that happen. And this example of labor pains, this is something which happens to the woman, and it's something that, just like any other pain that a believer may face, this is an expiation for her. This is something which is a removal of sins and a removal of anything bad that they might have committed, or a reason for them to be raised in the hereafter due to the hardships that they may face. فنادتها من تحتها ألا تحزني قد جعل ربك تحتك سريا. So he called to her from beneath, don't be saddened. Indeed, your Lord has made below you a spring, or like a small river. So a small spring or river of fresh water was there and appeared for her to drink. وهزي إليك بجذع النخلة تساقط عليك رطبا جنيا. And shake the tree, shake the trunk of the date palm tree, so that fresh dates may fall upon you. And this is also something which is tremendous, that shows us that everything has asbab in the creation, meaning that had Allah willed, had Allah wanted, He could have made the dates fall upon Maryam for her to eat without any effort from her part. But Jibreel ordered Maryam to shake the trunk of the tree. She had to do those asbab. And just like everything else in our worldly life, if we want to achieve something, if we want to eat a certain type of food, if we want to gain something in this worldly life, it's upon us to implement the means and do the effort to achieve those things. So just as Maryam was not supposed to expect that the provision in that moment was going to miraculously fall upon her, but rather she was ordered to shake the trunk of the tree in order to gain those fruits, those dates. And what's amazing about that is that while she had to shake the trunk of the date palm tree, that is a tremendous effort. That is something that a normal person, a normal man, would not be able to go to a date palm tree and shake that tree hard enough to make dates fall upon her, right? Or to fall down upon him, even if a strong man was to try and do that. But in this situation, Maryam, even though she had those labor pains and she was a woman, she shook the tree, so she implemented the means to achieve what she was told to do, and Allah brought those sweet, fresh dates down upon her by His blessing and His ability. فكلي واشربي وقري عينا فإما ترين من البشر أحدا فقولي إني نذرت للرحمن صوما فلن أكلم اليوم إنسيا. So eat and drink so that your eyes may be cooled, meaning you'll be in a relaxed state, a state of having peace of mind. And if you see anyone from among the people, then inform them that you have sworn yourself to silence. You have sworn an oath to be silent for the sake of Ar-Rahman, and that you will not speak to anyone. فأتت به قومها تحمله قالوا يا مريم لقد جئت شيئا فريا يا أخت هارون ما كان أبوك امرأ سوء وما كانت أمك بغيا. So she went to her people carrying the baby. And the people said to her, "O Maryam, you have come with something terrible. O sister of Harun, your father was not an evil man, and your mother was not a prostitute." Meaning, how could you, who we know you've not been married, how could you come holding this newborn baby with you? فأشارت إليه. So she pointed to him. She pointed to this baby, this newborn baby. قالوا كيف نكلم من كان في المهد صبيا. So they said, how can we speak to somebody who is an infant in a cradle? And so they understood, Maryam, she didn't speak, she just pointed. And they're like, how can we ask him about this? قال. So this is what the baby said. This is what Prophet Isa said as a newborn baby. إني عبد الله آتاني الكتاب وجعلني نبيا وجعلني مباركا أينما كنت وأوصاني بالصلاة والزكاة ما دمت حيا وبرا بوالدتي ولم يجعلني جبارا شقيا والسلام علي يوم ولدت ويوم أموت ويوم أبعث حيا. So he said, indeed, I am the slave of Allah. I have been given the book. And he said, indeed, I am Allah's slave. He has given me the book and he has made me a prophet. He has made me blessed wherever I am. And he has ordered me with prayer and giving zakat as long as I live. And that I be dutiful to my mother. And he has not made me oppressive or despairing. And peace be upon me the day that I was born, the day that I will die, and the day that I will be resurrected alive. And then Allah continued, ذَلِكَ عِيسَى بْنُ مَرْيَمْ قَوْلَ الْحَقِّ الَّذِي فِيهِ يَمْتَرُونَ. That is Isa, the son of Maryam, the true statement in which they debate and argue about. ما كان لله أن يتخذ من ولد سبحانه إذا قضى أمرا فإنما يقول له كن فيكون. It is not befitting that Allah takes a son, glorified and exalted is He over that. If He decrees an affair to happen, indeed He says to it be, and it is. So we have a few minutes left. So to mention some of these summarized points, and indeed these verses are tremendous and they're worthy of great contemplation. Anybody who is not muted, if you could please just make sure your line is muted because I'm hearing some background noise. So we have in this the fact that Isa, he spoke from the cradle. And this is something which Allah had decreed and given the ability to a select few number of children to have this ability. So this is from the ayat, this is from the signs of Allah. And that we see that Isa alayhi salam, he had in his shar', he had in his legislation, the salat and the zakat, just as we have in this ummah. And we have how he was ordered to be dutiful and kind to his mother. And we have in these verses how he knew from that age, peace be upon me, the day I was born, the day that I die, and the day that I will be resurrected alive. So Isa, he knew that he will die also at that age. And this is from the belief of Ahl Sunnah that after Isa alayhi salam returns to this earth in which he was raised from, he will return to the earth and live out his days and die the death of a normal man before he is resurrected, just like the rest of mankind. And how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of course, he ended these few verses by clarifying that it is not befitting for Allah to take a son. Glorified and exalted is He. If He decrees any affair, then indeed He says to it, be, and it is. And then Allah continued, Allah continued quoting, وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ رَبِّي وَرَبُّكُمْ فَاعْبُدُوهُ هَذَا صِرَاطٌ مُسْتَقِيمٌ. Indeed, Allah is my Lord and your Lord, so worship Him alone. This is the straight path. فَاخْتَلَفَ الْأَحْزَابُ مِنْ بَيْنِهِمْ فَوَيْلٌ لِلَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مِنْ مَشْهَدِ يَوْمٍ عَظِيمٍ. And then thereafter, the sects differed between themselves. So woe to those who disbelieve from that tremendous day. Naam. Jazakumullah khairan. I think we finished up the time that we had. Is that how many minutes are left, Khan?
4 minutes more.
4 minutes. Jazakumullah khairan. Okay. Jade. So I'll just continue there. Of course, this tremendous surah with different mentions of different prophets and messengers. And we'll just jump to closer to the end of the surah in which Allah said, وَقَالُوا اتَّخَذَ الرَّحْمَنُ وَلَدًا لَقَدْ جِئْتُمْ شَيْئًا إِدًّا تَكَادُ السَّمَاوَاتُ يَتَفَطَّرْنَ مِنْهُ وَتَنشَقُّ الْأَرْضُ وَتَخِرُّ الْجِبَالُ هَدًّا أَن دَعُوا لِلرَّحْمَنِ وَلَدًا وَمَا يَنبَغِي لِلرَّحْمَنِ أَن يَتَّخِذَ وَلَدًا إِن كُلُّ مَن فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ إِلَّا آتِ الرَّحْمَنِ عَبْدًا. So he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they said that Ar-Rahman has taken a son. Indeed, you have come with something terrible in this statement. It is almost that the heavens are going to split open and that the earth will crack apart and that the mountains will crumble to dust. That it is claimed that Ar-Rahman has taken a son. And it is not befitting for Ar-Rahman to take a son. Indeed, everyone, indeed everything in the heavens and the earth will come to Ar-Rahman as a slave. Now, so this is a brief reminder for myself and anyone listening about the tremendousness of this revelation that we have from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we need to be thankful for the blessing of being guided to it and realize it's not something to be taken lightly, but really it is the greatest blessing to be guided to this truth and this clarity which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed. Now, Sheikh, we had a question from one of the brothers. He's planning to travel back to his country, and he's saying that he's expecting that he will fast his 30 days of Ramadan in the place where he is, and then when he arrives to his country, the Yom al-Eid would be the day after. So does he fast 31 days with them, or he should not fast while he's waiting for the Eid with the people there in his country?
He don't supposed to show them that he's breaking his fast, and he don't supposed to fast in his Eid because he fast 30 days, but he don't supposed to show that it's his Eid for the benefit for all the Muslim in his country. Okay?
No. Jazakallah khair. Thank you. Let me just check. Okay. A question has come through about, Sheikh, a question came through about the permissibility of the hairstyle called dreadlocks. Dreadlocks.
I know that. Oh, I know the style.
Dreadlocks, it's when the hair is not braided, but twisted. Twisted, and it's kept it's common in some African countries and Jamaica, for example.
No problem in this. I don't have any dalil said don't do it. So الأصل في الأمور الإباحة ما لم يأتي نهي.
So the Sheikh explained that he does not know any proof to say that that type of hairstyle is permissible. So the asl or foundational principle regarding the things is that it is permissible unless there is a proof to make it haram. Okay, I'm just looking in the chat. If anybody has a question, please type it in the chat, or if your question is too long, you could just say that you have a question and we can ask you to unmute. Brother Yusuf, regarding your question, the Sheikh already answered this one in the last lesson, so I'll get back to you about that one, inshallah.
Brother Fawaz Rafdin has raised just a unmute.
Okay, thank you. Please go ahead, brother.
Assalamu alaikum. That's hadith that says, do not tuck your hair and the clothes, the salah. So like if I wear the shirt, long sleeve shirt, and if I fold it on a regular basis,
I'm sorry, brother. Sorry, brother Fawaz. There's a lot of echo in your room, and I can't understand what you're saying. The sound quality is not clear.
No, that's a hadith says, do not tuck your hair and do not tuck and the clothing in the salah.
I'm sorry, brother. I can't understand what you're saying.
Okay, I'll type it in.
Okay. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
كيف حالك؟
Alhamdulillah. How are you?
حياكم الله. How you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you. How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah. Barakallah fi Sheikh Jay. Alhamdulillah. The question I asked is a question that one of the brothers asked at the masjid. They want to know, saying Ramadan Mubarak before giving the greetings, are using Ramadan Mubarak as a replacement of the salam during Ramadan.
There is no certain word for saying about the greeting Ramadan, but you can say anything under this meaning, and the reply to be under this meaning. Am I clear?
No.
So there is no certain word, just waiting that Ramadan enter for both sides. Okay? Am I clear?
نعم.
نعم شيخ. من شيخ أيضا من سؤال الأخ بلال يقول كثير من الناس يستخدمون رمضان مبارك بدلا عن السلام، يعني ما يسلمون. كثير من الناس يقولون رمضان مبارك بدلا عن السلام.
لا، يبتدئ الإنسان بالسلام ثم يقول يبارك برمضان، ولكن دائما الكلام يبتدأ بالسلام. الكلام يبتدأ بالسلام.
No. So Sheikh said that you should always start with salam, and then afterwards, if you want to congratulate someone for the month of Ramadan, then you can do that.
Okay, بارك الله فيك. نعم واضح.
فيكم بارك. Great. If you could mute the line, please. Thank you, because of background noise. Brother Abdurrahim Sheikh, he has a question. How Imam Ahmed mentions in Usul Sunnah, Tarkul Jidal. And we also have the ayat of Allah, وَجَادِلْهُمْ بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ. So he wants to understand the issue, please.
وجادلهم بالتي هي أحسن. أهل الكتاب ومن لم يدخل الإسلام تكون المجادلة بالتي هي أحسن. أما أهل البدع والانحراف فيبين لهم، ولكن إذا كان هو مصرا على نهجه وبدعته فهنا يترك أهل البدع. فلا بد لمن كان متمكنا أن يبين لهم، مجرد البيان لهم، ولكن لا يكون ذلك على الاستمرار مع المنحرف الذي لا يرتضي الدليل ولا يرتضي ما كان عليه أصحاب النبي، فهذا هو على بدعة من أمره، كمن يقول تجربتي تقول كذا. فما في دليل شرعي يجعل التجربة حكم في تحقيق العبودية لله والتقرب إلى الله. فإذا قيل له أن التجربة ليست دليل، هذه عبادة، فقال لا، كيف أنا أراها نافعة مفيدة، هذا انحراف. ومثل هذا وأمثاله لا نجادله. وأهل الكتاب أيضا يقال لهم الحق ويمسك الإنسان. هذا هو ما يكون عليه، لأن أهل البدع يمرضون من يقرب منهم، يمرضون قلبه بالإرادات والشبه. نعم.
نعم. So the Sheikh explained that the ayah about where Allah ordered جادلهم بالتي هي أحسن, or argue or debate with them in that which or with that which is best, then this ayah was revealed regarding Ahl Kitab, the people of the book. And as for what Imam Ahmad rahimahullah was mentioning about Tark al-Jidal, then that was in regards to the people of innovation and desires, Ahl Bid'ah, people of innovation and desires. And if the person of innovation and desires needs a clarification, then you give a clarification. You give the proofs and clarify what is the truth without entering into an argument or debate with them. And what's important to understand why the Sheikh said that there's a difference between the Ahl Kitab and Ahl Bid'ah is the situation with Ahl Kitab. If a Muslim was to enter into discussions with them, it's much less likely that the Muslim would become affected by what they have to say, by their types of doubts. Rather, the Muslim, he clarifies what's the truth, and if they have questions, he can clarify that. But as for the person of innovation and desires, the person of bid'ah, then the Muslim needs to protect himself from being close with them and to listening to them any more than what is necessary. So the Muslim clarifies the truth, and that is it. And the Shaykh gave the example of people that might speak about the religion saying, oh, based on my experience, such and such, or based on my opinion, such and such, without utilizing the proofs and evidences for their worship. They just go by what they feel or by what their experiences have been. So the Sheikh said, this is something that is wrong and not from the religion, and this type of person, if that is what they're upon and they are Muslim, then we clarify what is the truth to them with proofs and evidences, and we don't enter into arguing and debating with them. No.
نقف عند هذا القدر وجزاكم الله خيرا.
Jazakallah khairan, Sheikh. Take care. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakumullah khairan, brothers. Inshallah, hopefully we'll plan to continue next week. Take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.